Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm back. It feels so surreal. Well, actually, truth be told, I'm back vlogging for the second time today because I started vlogging and I got like 3 minutes into it, and my neighbor across the street, which here's another neighbor. Hey! My neighbor across the street, she came across and started talking to me, and so I stopped it, and then I was gonna pick up, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start over because I don't even remember what I was talking about. But I'm back! Oh my God, I can't believe it. And this is my fourth video that I have filmed today. I filmed a video on my drama channel. I filmed a Peter Does Stuff video right here, talking about all the TV shows that I have watched since I've been gone. And then I filmed a Peterisms video talking about being weaned off of pain medication and just the doctors and the nurses with pain medication and what a struggle that was. So if you want to go watch that video and you want to hear more about that, watch that as well. I'm going to probably talk a little bit today about what I've gone through, but I would like to try to keep this a little bit cheerful today because I'm in a really good mood. Actually, my husband just got home. He just went to hot yoga and he is taking a shower. And so I don't know how long I'll vlog for, half an hour or 40 minutes maybe. I just got to get back into the mode of vlogging. I went to a doctor's appointment today. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to say, first of all, you know, and I said something about this and I alluded to this if you watch my video that I did on my Peter Monn channel about my life update. I said on there, you know, something to the effect of like people that had reached out to me and stuff. And I just want to say, and I mean this sincerely and I mean this genuinely, you know, there's a few YouTubers that I talk to and that I'm friendly with, and I would say most of the YouTubers that I talk to are so grateful for the audience that they have and the people that support them and things like that. I really don't know that I could have gotten through the last month without you guys. And, you know, the Vloggerinos group on Facebook, but also just the people that watch the vlog. I mean, so many people reached out to me and either shared personal stories with me, but about things that they had gone through or things that their spouses or kids had gone through that were similar to what I was going through and really offered me some hope. But most importantly, I felt like such a push and such a drive to come back. And I've been really, really lethargic and really tired. Like, I'm really tired right now, honestly. And a lot of it is from the acute pancreatitis that I had, but a lot of it is also from the medication changes because they changed me from Depakote for my epilepsy over to Keppra. And one of the side effects is that you're very tired until you get it regulated. And I just saw my neurologist today and I was like, I'm tired all the time. And he was like, yeah, it's really normal. And you're probably going to feel that way for like, you know, first 2 to 3 months or whatever. And then it'll kind of like, you know, you'll start feeling better. But I'm tired all the time. And so I would really want to make videos or vlog, and I just would be exhausted. Like, I mean, I would go upstairs and say I was going to lay down for like a half an hour, and I would end up, there's like bugs all around my face. It is absolutely beautiful today. It's like 80 degrees out. But I would go upstairs to lay down for like a half an hour, and I would end up sleeping for 3 or 4 hours. I mean, this was like every day. And but the number one thing that helped me the most was, and it was an overwhelming amount of people, you know, because I would do updates in the Vloggerinos group and on Twitter and whatever, and even on Instagram, and so many people would either like comment or they would direct message me and say, take as much time as you need to focus on your health, you need to focus on your mental health, take care of yourself, don't worry about us, we'll be here when you get back, we'll watch your videos. And you know, it just, I don't know how other YouTubers are. I don't know how YouTubers that have millions of subscribers are. I don't have that, so I can only speak for me. but it felt very personal. And when I was feeling low and I was second guessing myself and wanting to push myself to do things and make videos, but I was exhausted, and then I would read a comment, you know, and it would say, hey, take as much time as you need. Like, if you need another week, take another. It was so helpful. There were so many people that like reached out to me on a regular basis. Troy from the Vloggerinos group, literally every single day that I've been gone, he has messaged me and just asked me how I was doing. And there were so many other people that messaged me and just were asking me how I was doing. And I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel very blessed, you know, with my husband and my cousin Caroline and Tanya Jean, and my, you know, other friends, Melissa and Valerie, and I have such a great support network of people that, you know, one day I was just feeling really down, and Melissa has been on and on about this Milo's iced tea that she's obsessed with, and I came out here, and I've been really lucky that there's been a lot of really nice weather, so I've been able to just kind of like sit out here on the front porch, and I just put up my iPad and I literally just watch TV shows all day long. That's really what I've been doing. It really, I mean, my life has been boring and not exciting. But I came out here one day, Melissa had texted me and she said, I went to pick up groceries and I left you a surprise on the front porch. And she had left me this huge gallon jug of this Milo's iced tea, which I had never tried before, and I was really excited about it. So I should have brought some of it out. I didn't. I filled this water bottle when I went to the doctor today, so I've been drinking this water. But so I just want to say thank you. You guys have no idea. And I don't say that to like dog other YouTubers at all. Like, I just, it felt very personal to me when people would reach out to me and they would share their stories, or they would even just say, you know, like, I've watched you every day for 4 years and I'm going back and I'm watching old vlogs now because I miss you. Or, you know, people would say, like, hey, you know, like, I know that you want to come back and make videos, and I know you're trying to push yourself, but take as much time as you need. Like, it made me feel like people got me. Like, they really understood what I was going through. And it just was so supportive, because, like, in my head, I would feel like I need to take off a couple more days. But then the other side of my head would say, no, you need to make videos and people are waiting for you to come back. And then when I get those messages, I don't know. I really, honestly, I don't think I could have done it without you guys. And so I just want to say thank you. I from the bottom of my heart, I'm so thankful. You know, that the last month has just been pure hell. And just, I did the update video, so I don't want to reiterate everything, but, you know, I went into the hospital with acute pancreatitis. I was there for 6 days. I got out. They released me on very high doses of pain medication, which I was terrified of. But I had to have it, which is interesting because my GI specialist that I went to, he ended up telling me that he would never have released me in that much pain, that he would have waited until I was out of pain, and then he would have released me not on high doses of pain medication. But that's not what they did. In fact, they were like trying to get me out of the hospital. And so they released me on really high doses of pain medication, and I was terrified that I was going to get hooked on it. You know, I've been on pain medication in the past, and I've talked about it, and I've had to for, you know, things that have happened, but like with my back and whatever, but like this was different, and they were higher doses, and I was in excruciating pain, so I knew I had to take it. And I had all these doctors and nurses telling me, oh, there's no withdrawal symptoms from it. Like, you can just stop taking it immediately. And that was not the case at all. You know, and I had to wean myself off of it with doctors' help. And it was, going through withdrawals of the pain medication was almost as bad as going through the acute pancreatitis. In all honesty, it was. And I shared this on my Peterisms video that I did today, but like what happened was, I got to a point where I was getting really scared, and they were wanting to like double my doses and stuff like that because of the pain. And I couldn't really tell if like the pain was from this or from, I just didn't even know anymore, but I was like so scared of the pain medication. And I had missed like 3 home group meetings, and Tanya had like she was like, do you want to go? And I was super tired. I was super exhausted. And Alex was like, I think it would be good for you to get out of the house, you know, even just for an hour and try to go to the meeting. And Tanya said, if we get there and you can't stay, we'll leave. And so we went to our home group meeting. And, you know, I've always been told in recovery to tell on myself, to tell my truth. Live out loud is what we call it. And so I went to the meeting. And, you know, we split up into small groups. And that night, I just happened to be sitting in a group with several men that had over 40 to 50 years of sobriety each. And, you know, they all were so kind. I mean, I just spilled my guts, and I was bawling my eyes out and talking about how I had to be on this pain medication, and I was terrified of it, and I wanted to get off of it, and whatever. And, you know, they all reiterated for me that just because we're addicts and alcoholics doesn't mean that we have to be in pain. And that, you know, I was doing everything that I was being told to do, and I was talking to my sponsor, and the doctors were, you know, Alex was monitoring it, he was doling it out to me. I mean, everything was by the books, how I was supposed to do it in recovery. And, you know, and they just were so kind and so helpful. And the next day I like called the doctor and I was like, you've got to wean me off this. Like, I can't do this anymore, you know? And that was kind of the beginning of the end of the pain medication for me. Thank God. I was watching Dope Sick while I was going through it. And I had never, you know, I'd been recommended to watch that show. We read the book for True Crime Book Club. Watching the show while going through that was excruciating. It's a fantastic, fantastic show. If you've never seen it, it's about Purdue Pharma and Oxycontin and things like that. But like going through that at the same time, or watching it at the same time that I was going through weaning myself off of this pain medication, it just was like, I mean, I felt like I was living it, watching it. It was very, very scary. So I'm so thankful that I'm on the other side of that, and I don't wish that on anybody. I really don't. Like, you know, for people that have been on it for years and stuff, like, I just can't even, on any kind of pain medication, I just can't even imagine. You know, I was only on it for 3.5, 4 weeks, and that was including being in the hospital. And, you know, it's scary stuff, very scary stuff. So, yeah, but it's been bad. You know, Caroline and Tanya and Alex came to visit me in the hospital a lot, and which was really nice. I just really mostly slept when I was in the hospital. And then when I got out, I think I had to cancel like the first 2 weeks with Caroline. I couldn't do anything. I really couldn't leave this front porch. And I would just like get out of bed and I would put on my sweatpants and a hoodie and I would come out here and, you know, it's weird. Like, I haven't really been drinking coffee. I got like, so when I was in the hospital, this is kind of a funny story. When I was in the hospital, well, they encouraged me like the last day they were trying to get me to eat. A part of it was that I had compacted colon too, and I hadn't like had a bowel movement like the week before I went in and the whole week that I was in the hospital, and so it was just really gross and ugly. But anyway, they found out from x-rays that I had like compacted stool in my colon, and so they were trying to get me to eat, and they had me on all of this different stuff to like move my bowels. And some people were kind of critical, and they were like, I can't believe that you're drinking frappuccinos. Well, they had encouraged me to eat like sugar. They're like, sugar will help move your system a little bit, so please eat whatever you want to eat, because I really wasn't. They had me on ice chips for 5 days, and then they had me on a clear diet for like a day and a half, which was basically just like water and Sprite. Well, whatever the Sprite Shasta that I would drink in the hospital. The nurses, and I mean, for as ignorant as they were about addiction, which I had to educate a lot of people, but most of them were really open to it. They were so nice. Like, I had the best nurses and technicians. I mean, they spent a lot of time with me. They thought I was hilarious, which was so fun. And they would just come and talk to me. And a couple of them like found out that I made YouTube videos, and they were like watching me flip fans, and they got a real kick out of that. And so they would come and ask me questions. But I just, you know, it was fantastic. I will say, like, I did not have a bad time in the hospital. The people were just so fantastic. And I had this one nurse, And she was just the coolest older lady, and her husband had, well, I won't get into all that because I don't want to, it's her personal stuff, but anyway, she, I would love to tell the whole story that she told me because the story is so funny, but I don't want to, you know, anonymity kind of thing. But so I asked her one day, I was like, so she worked the third shift, and so I said, what do you do when you go home? And she said, well, I always stop at Starbucks. And I said, you do? And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, what do you get at Starbucks? So I was telling her that I used to do the reviews and whatever. And she said, I get 2 venti caramel ribbon frappuccinos. And I said, oh, wow. And she's like, a girl, she was like, I love them. She was so funny. And I said, oh, I'll have to try that. I said, I think I've tried it like once or twice, but I don't know. So when I got out of the hospital, Alex and I had to go and pick up my meds. So we picked up my meds, and Alex was like, do you want anything else? And I had like no appetite. And I was like, can you go through Starbucks? I'm gonna get this caramel ribbon frappuccino. And so I had those for a couple days, but then I kind of like was just over it. I've been drinking, like whenever Caroline takes me through Starbucks now, I've been drinking refreshers. I haven't been drinking coffee. I've been drinking a lot of herb tea. But for some reason, when I get nauseous, the herb tea makes me even more nauseous. And then I'm vomiting up herb tea, which is not fun if you've ever done it before. So yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water. I actually have been drinking, my friend Valerie got me started on this soda that is made, I think it's called stevia. No, the stevia is the stuff. The drink is called Zevia, I think. But I got root beer, ginger root beer. I didn't like that. So then I ordered it on Amazon Fresh, cream soda. It tastes like diet cream soda, but it's good. And then I've been drinking a lot of Starry Zero too. But I haven't even been really drinking that much soda. I've been drinking a lot of water just to try to keep myself hydrated and stuff like that. I'm so far behind on my reading. I'm like 4 books behind. I'm going to come out with an announcement tomorrow on my BookTube channel, just so you all know that Mel and I have decided that we're going to skip the month of May for True Crime Book Club. I'm going to skip the month of May for Peter's Book Club, just so I can catch up. I have to catch up. We're going to do the live stream for the last 2 books at the end of May. But I have to have some time to catch up. I mean, I just haven't been reading at all. I've been just watching TV shows. And so I'm going to use May to catch up. And I'm actually going to go visit Mel in August, hopefully. And Nikki from the book club is going to go too. So it's going to be the 3 of us having a little girls' weekend out there. We've been looking at Airbnbs and stuff, so I'm real excited about that. And looking at birthday trips in June. Everywhere's so expensive right now that honestly, like, we were looking at, we were thinking about, because, you know, I didn't do like a big 50th birthday trip last year. And so I was looking at Turks and Caicos, Grand Cayman, Aruba, all these different places, but they're so expensive. And then I was like, well, what if we just did Florida? But even Florida, all the places that we usually stay down there are so expensive. And then Alex was like, well, what about Vegas? If we did Vegas for like 4 or 5 days. And so I was like, okay. So I looked at Vegas and, like, you know, we love staying at the Cosmo, but it's not super expensive to stay at the Cosmo for like 4 or 5 days. But the problem is that you get nickeled and dimed by going to shows and out to eat. And you're talking about another probably $2,000. In all honesty, you really are. And so I just happened to start looking at some places like in Mexico. And to go to Mexico for my birthday is like cheaper than any of these places. So we may do Mexico. It'll be either Mexico or it'll be Las Vegas. And then Alex is going to Mexico to like some small surf town for his brother's bachelor party in July. And then I'm going to visit Mel in August, and then we'll do our anniversary trip in August. And then Fufu's wedding is in October. My brother-in-law and Jesse, their wedding is in October. And yeah, I think that's it. Tanya and I were thinking about going to BravoCon in Las Vegas. Is anybody going to BravoCon? If you guys are going to BravoCon, let me know in the comment section below, because Tanya and I are like seriously thinking about doing it. Tanya doesn't love Vegas, so like that's one of the only things, but we had really thought about it. Alex kind of wants to go too. But he was like, if you guys just want to do it as a girls trip, I totally understand. I was reaching out to some people that I knew that had gone, and I was asking them, like, are the VIP tickets worth it? Because they're only like $200 more for a VIP ticket. And they actually said that, yes, they were worth it because you didn't have to wait in lines for panels and stuff like that. So I don't know. We might do that. We'll see. Some fun stuff planned. I'm just ready for the pool to open. I'm ready for nice weather every day. I'm ready to start wearing some of my old clothes, you guys. So today I weighed myself. I was 205.8. Just to put this in perspective, the day that I got out of the hospital, I was 233.5 pounds. So I've lost about 28 pounds since I've gotten out of the hospital, which my doctor today said, of course, we wouldn't want you to lose it this way, but this is normal. And he said it's a mix between the acute pancreatitis and the changing of the medications, because this new medication that you're on, whereas the Depakote made me gain a lot of weight, he was like, this new medication that you're on, like weight loss is a side effect. And he said, and also like loss of appetite. So my plan is to start getting more active and bring out my Hoka shoes that I bought that I still have never worn and start walking and eating healthy, which I have been doing that. Nothing really sounds good. I'm not like, honest to God, like nothing. We went to Rev on Saturday night, the fundraiser, which I was so happy that I got to go to, because even Friday night, I was still like really lethargic and I was nauseous and I was vomiting, and I thought I'm not gonna be able to make it tomorrow night. And I woke up on Saturday and I felt so much better, and I was so excited that I got to go with Alex, and we had such a good time, and we got to see so many old friends that we hadn't seen in years. A lot of people were visiting town just to go to this thing. And so we saw a lot of people from out of town, but they have food vendors there. Like they have 100 different restaurants in Indianapolis that, like, the whole thing is like a culinary experience. So it's like booth of food. I had one empanada at the entire thing and a donut as we were walking out from Jack's Donuts. That was all I ate the entire night because I was afraid that I would get sick. And I didn't want to get sick at the event and then like have to go home early. So I didn't. I'm like, do I want to share this next part? So we came home, and I had ordered the night before because I hadn't eaten in 2 days. I'm like going like whole days and not eating because I'm not hungry. And I had ordered Maggiano's, and I kind of forced myself to eat. And so I ate some of my leftovers, and I got so nauseous, like I vomited the whole thing up, which is really weird because up to that point, I hadn't really been like vomiting food. It had been like liquid or dry heaves. Now, today I haven't felt nauseous, and last night I felt pretty good. Like I felt nauseous, but I forced myself to just kind of like, whatever. I finished Queen Charlotte last night. I started watching it the day before, and then last night I watched the last 3 episodes. It's so fantastic. If you guys watched it, did you notice the last song that they played at the dance was I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston and Dolly Parton? Oh, love that song so much. I was like bawling watching it. If you're a Bridgerton fan, I think Queen Charlotte is better than Bridgerton, in all honesty. I was just blown away by it. My neighbors have been so unbelievable. They have come over and checked on me every day. My neighbor across the street, who's a master gardener, she weeded our entire walkway, you guys. I came home from the hospital and it was all weeded. I actually bought these plants at Costco. Aren't they so pretty? There's some over there. Now, the front porch is not done yet, so so these are the pillow covers that I have, but I ordered ones that have flowers on them, and they have like birds, wild birds and stuff, so I'm real excited because it's going to be real colorful. And then I'm going to get either a fern or like a big like hanging plant for up there, and then another plant for right there, and then 2 for down there, and then I think I'm done. Tanya, when I was in the hospital, she brought me, look at this, it is still thriving. Can you believe it? She brought me this. It doesn't really smell like much, but isn't this so pretty? Here's my thumbnail. So anyway, that was so sweet. She brought me a magazine, and I read through that. I was going to do a magazine video on my drama channel, but I like read through the whole magazine. I read 2 magazines at the doctor's office today. I'm so happy I'm starting to feel better. Like, even this weekend, I was like still really struggling. And, you know, I have so many people that, like, my friends that are YouTubers that will call me and they'll be like, are you coming back? Like, seriously, like, what is going on? It's been a month. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, you've got to, like, make a video here. I'm like, I know, I need to. And as thankful as I am for the people that told me to take as much time off that I need, I'm also thankful for the people that push me in the direction of being productive. Because in all honesty, I think it would be really easy for me just to sit in this front porch and not ever do a thing. I mean, I hate saying that, but, and like today, like having made these videos, I feel so much better. I feel alive. I feel, and I'm feeling physically a lot better too. You know, like even this weekend, like I was going to say, like I was like crying to Alex and I was like, I just want to feel well. Like, I'm so tired of not feeling good. Like, I'm so tired of it. Like, I'm sick every single day. I'm lethargic. I'm nauseous. They prescribed me Zofran, which when I was in the hospital and they would give it to me, but they gave it to me intravenously in the hospital. Like, it worked. But at home, it's the pill that you put like on your tongue or under your tongue and it dissolves. It doesn't work at all. Like, at all. And like, I'll take it and still like feel like I'm gonna vomit. So I don't know what, anyway. But this weekend I was just like, God, please just let me start feeling better. Like, I just want to start feeling better, you know? I will say that like my prayers and meditations have been so focused in the last month. I feel like my conscious conversation with my higher power has been like really strong, you know, especially through the periods of fear that I had. I think really when I didn't know what was going on and I didn't know that it was acute pancreatitis, like I knew something was wrong. I'd been hanging out with my friend Valerie the night before I went into the emergency room, and I said to her, I said, something's wrong. And she said, well, you've always had like a lot of stomach pains, like you've complained about it for like the last, you know, year or 6 months. And I said, and like Tanya even said that the other day, she's like, I feel like something else might be going on because every time, you know, you've gotten in my car, you're always like, my stomach hurts, my tummy hurts, whatever. And I said, I know. I said, but Valerie, I said, this feels different. I said, something's off. Like, this isn't just like, I feel sick. Like, this is like, something's off. Like, something is really wrong. And she like immediately brought me home and she was like, you need to get to the doctor and whatever. And then the next day everybody was like, so like, you need to go to the ER, you need to go to the ER. And they suggested that I stay on Thursday. I was kind of pushy with the nurse. I was like, can I go home? And she was like, well, you can go home and try the pain medication and it might go away in 2 to 3, 4 days. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And then I got home and the pain medication wasn't helping at all. And by Saturday, I was like in such excruciating pain. Like, I mean, it's interesting because I've had a couple people that have reached out to me and said, until you go through acute pancreatitis, you don't really know that it is like one of the most painful things. I mean, it is and it's centrally located and it is excruciating pain. Excruciating pain. I can't even explain it to you. It's like, I honestly thought, you know, my dad has always told me, bless you. Alex is sneezing inside. You know, my dad has always talked about appendicitis and that it's like to your right side. And so I was pretty sure it wasn't appendicitis, but it almost like, it was so painful. I thought, did my appendix rupture or something? And like, you know, like I'm gonna have to have emergency surgery. Like I was really scared of that when we first went to the emergency room, and then when they were like, it's acute pancreatitis, and I didn't really know what that was. The only time I've ever heard people reference pancreatitis is from drinking, you know, and you see people and they're yellow and their eyes are yellow, and it's typically from drinking. I didn't know, you know, that a lot of people get pancreatitis from gallbladder, gallstones, things like that. I mean, I had no clue. I didn't know really anything about it, and I definitely didn't know that you could get it as a side effect of this medication that I was on. And actually my GI specialist, he looked it up, and it's like 1 or 2 in 1,000 people that are on Depakote get it. But he said to me, he goes, that's actually pretty high for medication risks. He was like, you would think that it sounds low, but he was like, from a medical point of view, 1 to 2 in 1,000 is pretty high. And I was like, oh, okay. And so it stopped. So I don't know, you know, like, I guess I'm just one of the lucky ones. But I do feel very blessed that I'm, you know, on the other side of this. And, you know, as an addict in recovery, as a person in recovery that's been sober 28 years, working steps, having a sponsor, going to meetings, it's very scary to talk even about being on pain medication or the withdrawal. I mean, it's like, there's always that fear that people are going to judge you for it or whatever, which was part of the stigma of, like, when I talk about like nurses and doctors aren't educated, what I mean is that there's a stigma that goes along with it, right? And you know, like, I had a nurse in the hospital and I was like in a lot of pain, and it was like day 2 or 3, I think it was day 3, and I was in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. And you know, they have this chart that they use in the hospital, and it's like 1 to 10, like, how much pain are you in? And I was telling her, I was like, I mean, it's like a 9, 10. Like, I'm like, I cannot sit here. Like, I'm in excruciating pain. And she got kind of haughty with me and kind of questioning to me. And I found out later, I ended up asking for a different nurse because I found out later. So I called my sponsor as soon as she left, and I started bawling to my sponsor because she was asking me all these questions, and she was like, well, are you sure that you really need the medicine and whatever? And she insinuated that I was like med seeking, which I was in pain. Not to mention that the reason that I came inpatient to begin with was for pain management. I mean, they admitted me for pain management, IV pain management. And so this nurse was insinuating that I was like med seeking. And so I called my sponsor as soon as she left the room, and I said to my sponsor on the phone, because she's a retired nurse, and I said, I've never been treated so disrespectfully in my life. Like, I'm in pain, and I'm having to validate my pain, and I'm having to explain to her at the same time that I'm an addict in recovery, and this is fearful for me. And the nurse is saying, well, why should it be fearful for you? Why would you be afraid of the pain medication? I mean, she's like questioning me about all this stuff in a really harsh manner, and saying like, well, you shouldn't be, why would you be afraid of it? Like, if you don't have it, if you're not addicted to it, why would you be afraid of it? And I'm like, well, I'm afraid that I'm going to get addicted to it, but like, I'm in a lot of pain. Well, why would you have that? Why would you even have that thought, you know? And, you know, I'm telling my sponsor this, and I'm bawling my eyes out, and I'm laying in the bed talking to my sponsor on the phone, bawling my eyes out. And the nurse walked in, and then she walked back out. Well, the technician told me later that what she said when she walked out is, he's sitting there talking on the phone, so he's obviously not that much pain. Okay, that's ignorance, is what that is. That's people that, I don't know, like, and I dealt with her, and I had to deal with, you know, one other person that was kind of like that, that when I would explain to them, you know, the fear of being hooked on pain medication, they're like, well, I don't understand, like, they didn't understand that, or they would assume that, you know, it was surreal to me. And I'm like, do y'all not watch TV? Do you not know people? Like, I feel like every person that I know knows somebody that's like died of an overdose or has been hooked on drugs or alcohol. Like, this is a real thing, you know? The other thing that I did find out, though, was that, and this was like a mistake that the hospital made, and I probably could do something about this, but I care less, in all honesty, was that when I went into the emergency room the second time, she asked me about my medical history, and I said that I was sober, and she said, from what? And I told her, you know, different substances that I had used. And somewhere on the treatment plan, from that point to when I got admitted, the number 2 thing, it was number 1 was acute pancreatitis. The number 2 thing was that I was being treated for alcoholism, which I wasn't being treated for alcoholism because I've been sober for 28 years. And I kind of wondered if that wasn't, and then finally I had to talk to a doctor, and, you know, and he like showed it to me on the computer, and I said, I've been sober for 28 years, why is that on there? And he said, well, we'll immediately take that off there. And I was like, yeah, because this is the thing, is that and this is the ignorance that I'm talking about, when a nurse or a doctor is walking into the room and they've read my chart and they see that I'm being treated for alcoholism, which was December 17th of 1994, before that I've been sober, so I'm not being treated for that. And they see that, they're immediately assuming that that's why I have pancreatitis. And then they're immediately assuming that I'm med seeking and things like that, right? Like, okay, so now I'm having to deal with all of that on top of it, of being in pain, and having to explain to people why I'm so afraid of getting addicted to things. And I'm having to educate people on this as I'm the patient, when I'm sorry that medical schools and nursing schools don't do their jobs by educating people. Educate your people. Send them to a meeting, send them to an AA meeting, send them to an NA meeting, you know, to put them in an addictions treatment facility and have them sit there for a week or two and learn about addiction and what it's like, you know, and how scary it is to those of us out there that we could get hooked on something like that again, and it could mean our life. It could mean life or death to us. It's absolutely terrifying. You know, and all of my friends feel that way. It's no joke to us. It's our life. It's life or death, you know? And so, but I made it through. And like I said, I only had like 2 nurses that were difficult. The rest of them were so fantastic. In fact, I will say this, I had quite a few people, like when I would start telling them about it, that would ask me like, well, how long have you been going to meetings? And like, you know, oh, and then they would share things with me like, oh, I have a brother or a spouse or whatever, you know, like, what would you suggest? And I would say like, well, you know, I can only share my experience, strength, and hope. And then they'd say like, you know, like, well, I knew this person. They'd share stories with me and they'd say, you know, I knew this person that he got sober and stopped going to meetings, but then they like had back pain and then they got hooked on oxys. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is the fear, and you have to live out loud and talk about it, because if you don't, I've had it, it's happened to too many of my close friends, and it is such a reality of the life that I live. This whole world of pain medication is just, it's unbelievable to me, and it's terrifying, and it's scary, and it's too easily accessible. I said this in my Purisms video today, but like, even going into the hospital, 28 years sober, telling them that can't take anything habit forming unless I'm highly monitored, like, I could have gotten anything I wanted, in all honesty. Like, doctors and nurses just don't know. Like, they will put you on anything. And, you know, if I was 6 months sober, and the thing is that every day you get sober, the addict gets a little stronger as well. So, you know, I mean, I guess it doesn't even mean if you were 6 months sober, but if I was 3 or 6 months sober and I had gone through this, and I wasn't like as serious about my sobriety as I am, like if I wasn't then as I am now, like, and I had somebody that wanted to put me on, that wanted to double doses and whatever, I'm telling you right now, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. There was not a day that I didn't talk to my sponsor, Tanya, Alex, and everybody about what I was going through, because I was so terrified of it, you know? So, but I was talking about my weight before that. So, you know, I've lost like 28 pounds. I'm the thinnest I've been in 11 years, which is crazy. And I put on this shirt the other night for Rev, and it was like gutted, like skin tight, like 3 months ago, and now it's baggy. So I'm sure I have, my jeans do not fit, that I just, brand new jeans I just bought. This belt that I've been wearing for over 10 years, it goes way past the last loop that I made. I had to, like, you know, I made it myself with like a knife. Can't use that belt anymore. I have a new belt on today that I bought like 3 years ago for a wedding. I'm on the last loop of that, and it won't fit, so I'm gonna have to buy a new belt. I've gone down 2 pant sizes. I was a 38-40, and I'm now like a 34-36. I mean, this is crazy, you guys. You know, my doctors wanted me under 220, all of them, before this happened. They were like, you've got to be under 220. We're worried about you being pre-diabetic. We're worried about other health concerns. Like, you've got to be. Now I'm like, my doctor today was like, well, I think you look great. Like, obviously you don't want to lose it this way. He was like, you know, but you just, if you keep it up, he was like, you know. I was telling Tanya that she was like, well, what's your plan? And I said to keep on eating healthy. And I mean, I really can't eat anything that's not healthy right now because it makes me like gag a maggot. My mom used to say that. I mean, really, like, if, like, okay, God love whoever sent this out to me. We put it up in a video. I can't remember who sent it to me, but somebody sent us an air fryer. Oh no, I think they wanted to stay anonymous. I think they sent it to me and they said stay anonymous. But somebody sent us a Ninja air fryer. I mean, it's like $180, you guys. It was such an incredible gift. And somebody sent it to me and said, like, the vloggerinos were saying how bad you wanted one of these. Okay, I haven't used it. Alex, he is frying pizza rolls, chicken fingers, French fries, on and on and on in this air fryer, okay? I walk into the house. God love him. He loves this air fryer. He is obsessed with it. I walk into the house and it smells like fried food and I just want to be sick all over the place. Like, I really can't eat anything. Well, Maggiano's the other night, I got a salad and I could hardly even eat that. So I got stuffed mushrooms that were stuffed with garlic and bread and I thought, I got to get something that's kind of bland. And I ate a little bit of the salad, but like people were like, are you getting pizza, whatever? I'm like, pizza doesn't sound good. Fast food definitely doesn't sound good. None of those frappuccinos sound good anymore. The only thing I can really drink from Starbucks is like a refresher, and it's almost too sweet for me. It's like everything is like too much. When I first got out, I was eating these Bob Evans mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese because the doctor had suggested I eat things that were like pretty bland, but like high starches kind of stuff. And so there was a really beautiful cardinal across the street that was on the roof. So I was eating that, but then it started making me sick and like I can't do it at all anymore. So like nothing sounds good. I really don't know what to do. I mean, there are things that sounds good. Well, first of all, let me just tell you that Troy, who has been posting Taco Bell stuff on the Vloggerinos group, has made me so hungry for Taco Bell. I want those nacho fries from Taco Bell so bad. But like, I say it, but like if we went through Taco Bell right now, like if we got them, like I wouldn't want to eat them. Oh, this is what's really, really weird, okay? So I had a doctor's appointment, and afterwards Caroline was like, Caroline took me, she was like, do you want me to, this was 2-3 weeks ago, she was like, do you want me to take you somewhere on the way home to get food that you can have? And because I think Alex was going out to dinner with a girlfriend that night. And I said, yeah. And she was like, well, what do you want? And I said, can you take me by Joella's Hot Chicken? Now, if you watch my reviews, I've done reviews of Joella's Hot Chicken before. And Joella's Hot Chicken has a vegan chicken sandwich. Or you can get it as like just a chicken platter, or you can get it as a chicken sandwich. But it's just very plain tasting, and it's a really great like vegan patty. And so I went in there and I got vegan chicken sandwich with fries, and I just put mayonnaise on it, and like they have this like, it's called Ella's hot sauce. It's like out of 1 through 6, it's like 2 or something. It's like tastes like honey. But anyway, when I got home, I couldn't eat any of the fries at all. This is when I was trying to eat fast food. But that chicken patty like was so bland, and it was like fake chicken patty, obviously. Plant-based, just for all of you out there that was like, I think you're a vegetarian. Yes. But it was like the only thing that I could eat. And I actually DoorDashed 2 of the sandwiches here like a week ago because it was the only thing that sounded appetizing that I could actually eat were these fake chicken patties. Nothing else sounds good at all. Like nothing. And like one night I DoorDashed because I get real hungry, and then I'm like, okay, so I gotta eat something. One night I DoorDashed Cheesecake Factory, couldn't eat anything that I DoorDashed. And DoorDash is expensive. I didn't realize how expensive it was. So now I've just been keeping stuff from the grocery store, Jell-O, you know, oatmeal. I've been eating oatmeal, that kind of stuff, really bland stuff. But I mean, you can't live on that, you know, for a long time. So, I don't know. Like, I was eating a lot of potato salad and pasta salad and macaroni salad and stuff before. None of that sounds good. I was so excited the last day in the hospital when they brought the menu to me and they were like, you can order anything on the menu. I was like, oh my God. I was going to get a grilled cheese and tomato soup, and I thought, I've eaten enough grilled cheese and tomato soup in my life, which that doesn't even sound good to me right now. Because Tanya the other day was like, babe, what about some soup? And I'm like, soup? See, right even now, like even when I start talking about food, it makes me kind of nauseous. Nothing sounds good. And so I got the menu, and I ordered breakfast, and it was like these cinnamon roll waffles, which was like a Lego waffle. It was totally a joke. And then I got these like potatoes. None of it was good. It was all a cheat. I was so upset. And the last time I was in the hospital food was really good. This time, it sucked. And they had me drinking prune juice like it was going out of style to try to move my system, which prune juice is not delicious at all, if you've ever had it. Alex bought me some inside to go with my Miralax, which I'm taking. my GI specialist, he's like, you can take that Miralax, you can take it your whole life. He's like, it's pretty safe. He's like, it's not gonna, he's like, people think it's like a laxative that's gonna move you. He's like, it's not, it'll just make you regular. He's like, but it's real, you know, like it's not dangerous for you. So in the hospital, they mixed it with apple juice, but Alex was like, oh, I think prune juice would be better for you, because he knew they were giving me prune juice. I was like, oh God, this prune juice is horrible. I had like 2 things about it. Like, now the Miralax I just mix usually with water. So it's called Miralax? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, it's been a trip. I told my doctor today, I said, I'm done with doctors and hospitals. And I said, 2023 to 2024 were smooth sailing. No more of this. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna live my best life. I'm so thankful for my health that I have. I'm so thankful for my life. I'm so thankful for my sobriety. And I'm 50 years old, about to turn 51. And it's time I start going and living my life, my best life. And not turning back, you know, and I've got to go out there and I've got to live my life and be grateful for every moment and every second that I've been given. And, you know, it's been a real year and a half. And I think, you know, my therapist has been fantastic as well. And, cause I've had some low lows in the last month, you guys. I mean, I felt so hopeless and just so useless, just sitting in this chair night after night, and he has just been so wonderful. And it's time that he's been real encouraging. He's like, you gotta live your life. Like, it's time, you know, you've gotta live your life. You're given one time on this planet. And he was like, we're gonna get you healthy and we're gonna live your life. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I think I'm going to get off here now, and I've vlogged for about 47 minutes, I think. I'm gonna get off here now and start getting this uploaded. It's probably about 8 o'clock, so that you guys can watch this not too late. It feels so good to be back. I missed you guys so much, and anyway, I love you so much. Thank you for watching and hanging out on the front porch with me tonight. Troy actually asked me, he was like, do you need a reminder of the outro? I may need a reminder of the outro, but let's see how I do. Let's see if I can remember it. Okay, so I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Monday and a fantastic, wonderful beginning to your week. I am, so, and it's in part because of you guys, so thank you. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over, or your week over, whenever you want, or your life over. If you need to start your life over and say, I'm gonna start living my life today, I'm gonna do that. You can. Number 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. You might be changing their day, you might be putting a smile on their face, you might be making them feel better, you might be giving them hope, which is what you guys did for me, and I just want to say again, thank you so much. And also, be kind to one another, love one another a little bit more. Most importantly, be kinder and love yourselves a little bit more. Can you believe I remembered the entire outro? My God. Anyway, that's better than my 9-minute outro that I used to do 3 years ago. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you guys, and I don't think that's how I usually do it. But anyway, and for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, I have to, because I'm just back, right? One more, I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.